So the developers of ArenaNet, the developers of Guild War 2, have basically been teasing. They have been teasing little bits of information about Heart of Thorns, the actual upcoming expansion. Now, Heart of Thorns is very cool, very, very interesting. Lots of stuff is being teased. But one of the things that actually got rolled out before Heart of Thorns that ties into what's going on is the specialization overhaul right here, that what we're looking at. The new triple specialization system all the way through on all three specializations. Being able to pick and change however you want to, the same as you could before. And then they've got the new skill and specialization point system, along with hero points that you use to actually buy all this stuff. Well, there's going to be a new elite specialization system going into Heart of Thorns. That is going to have stuff like the Guardian. We'll have a new specialization, an elite specialization, called the Dragon Hunter. Let's think. The Rogue is getting one called the Daredevil. The Elementalist is getting a specialization called the Tempest. I think the Necromancer is getting one called the Reaper. All sorts of great stuff. And here's the interesting part, right? This is not just one next step on your class. It's not just the factor of, okay, I'm an Elementalist, now I can step into upgrade to becoming a Tempest. What they're going to be is different kinds of roles. And there will be future elite specializations for every class released later. So, it could be that right now, the Tempest, which is kind of a crowd control and DPS kind of a weird build, it could be that the Elementalist gets another elite specialization that makes them healing and crowd control or backline support or whatever. All sorts of stuff like that. So basically there's going to be a DPS role, a kind of a crowd control role, and then a frontline support role, which could be healing or whatever the case may be, and or defensive. And there's going to be those three different roles. There might be more added on, and every class is getting at least one of those.
Interesting.
With Heart of Thorns, which is very, very important. So what that means is that there's a lot of changes going into the game that they have been teasing about. I'm wearing my 3rd anniversary stuff here. So the thing for engineers, my favorite class, the engineers just got teased on Monday, and it's a picture. I'm going to put it up on screen right now. It is actually a picture of, I think it is a Norn male. I'm trying to remember if it was Norn or if it's Char, but basically you see an engineer that's got a full heavy faceplate going on, heavy looking armor across their face, wielding a big two-handed hammer, and some little doodads, almost like drones, whirring about them. Well, there's been a lot of speculation as to what that is, specifically because there's already a kind of a similar system with turrets on engineers. Engineers have turrets that they can deploy that have various specific functions on them. What this does is it actually creates a situation where the engineer can go into a point defense system where they can, let's just drop my supply crate right here, drop some turrets down. The flamethrower turret, there's a net gun turret. This is a healing turret, and you can see the healing line right here. Everybody in this gets regeneration. So these are point defense, choke points, bottlenecks on the map, whatever the case may be. And these are meant to create a kind of a safety zone for your other party members to run to. These things have a 5-minute timer, so you are replacing them regularly. Now, there is not just that. We have a rifle turret, there's the flamethrower turret, the net gun turret, the thumper. The thumper and the flamethrower are very short range, whereas the net gun is kind of a medium range. It stops things in their tracks. It throws a net on them and makes them to where they can't move for a couple of seconds. So that helps a little bit with mobility and escape factor from some of your party mates. There is a rocket turret and a rifle turret. I mean, those are medium to long range. You can see range 1,000 on the rifle turret, 1,000 on the rocket turret too. About 600 on the net turret, 500 on the flamethrower turret, only 240 on the thumper. The thumper is a point-blank AoE damage pulse that happens. And of course, there's still the healing turret with its big radius that goes around it. So yeah, all sorts of really cool stuff that's going to be put in, or that has been put in for engineers, that gives them all of this capability. Now, here's the thing. The picture that I showed you earlier about the engineer, what that has is some little small kind of like almost drone or robot looking things. Now, there was an article that was leaked out yesterday, and then it was linked again with same details on another website. It was a European website that leaked out what was supposed to be an article for the engineer, a teaser with a few more details, because we're not going to hear the rest of it until Friday when ArenaNet tells us on a live stream. Well, yesterday, an article leaked out on a European news website, gaming news website, and then somebody translated that. That same article, the same details, which apparently got passed out to multiple gaming websites, came out here in the States today. I think it was officially released. It might have meant to not be released until later in the week, but they thought, well, it slipped out, so let's just go ahead and publish it. And it confirms, the article supposedly confirms, that the upcoming name for the engineer is going to be the Scrapper. I think it's a play on words, a play on phrases. Scrap metal, scrap equipment, stuff of that nature. But also the Scrapper in that they are going to be a kind of an upfront melee, close quarters combat build. And what that means is, I don't know why I have so many people gathering around me. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. What that means is that they're going to have a two-handed hammer that's going to have a whole bunch of melee damage, damage mitigation, and movement, like leap attack abilities. Then you have your gyrobots, is what they're being called, the small little whirring drones shown in the picture. The gyrobots are actually going to be proximity-based effects and capabilities or buffs that are added to the actual engineer. Now, we don't know any mechanics past that. The article is very vague, but it gives a couple of examples of one gyrobot that specifically cleanses off negative status effects from the engineer, which is interesting. I think that's actually kind of cool. But the real question is, do the bots go off and do their own things? Is it AI driven, or are they just a graphical representation of a buff that's running around the engineer at all times, an AoE effect? Because a lot of people have worries over if there's going to be any more AI put into the game for stuff like that. There's already problems with AI, with engineering pets on various fronts. There's problems with AI and pathing and things of that nature with necromancer pets. So a lot of people are saying, really, please, don't give us more AI unless you're improving that side of the game. So we don't know what's going on. I have a sneaking suspicion that basically what's going to happen is, because there is a cleansing side effect when the healing turret, you can spec into it, every time the healing turret does a cleansing burst, it removes a couple of conditions, and it gives regen. Now, what I think is happening here is they're taking the push button effects of the various turrets. If I put, let's say, rifle turret here, or let's say it's flamethrower, you can have net gun over here. So once I put the turret down, then I have cleansing burst, which removes conditions. I think what they're doing is they're going to make it to where you can spec, when you spec into the Scrapper, you'll have the option to actually turn your turrets into the gyrobots. They will have a constant passive effect going on, and then you can actually push a button to trigger an active effect periodically that's on cooldown timer. That's my theory. I don't know if it's going to be right. I'm not sure. We'll see. But that's the theory, at least, that I'm working off of at present. So I'm going to be very, very curious. I'm going to actually watch the live stream. If I don't know if I'm going to be able to record it, but I will definitely go over some details and some screenshots from it on Friday, and probably post a video on Saturday discussing, well, if it's really bad, I might discuss it, discussing how it actually impacts we as engineers. So I'll be watching very, very closely. Right now, primarily, I have been running an alchemical build. I'm still running my flamethrower juggernaut build, as it were. Let's see, that is retaliation. That, oh no, those go backwards. That one goes there. This one goes there. I'm still going with a predominantly flamethrower build. It is hinged specifically around Juggernaut. I have tried to make an actual turret build. I did some test footage and recording with my brother Critch and my brother Kurnos, and we stepped into the game and I tried some turret building, but it had been so long since I used turrets I didn't realize they put timers on them. So I'm having to rethink and reevaluate my actual tactics on timers. Still working on that though. I really would love to find a viable turret build that let you turtle down and become the defensive point that your other companions could run to. I'd make use of things like experimental turrets to pass at buffs when they're nearby. Advanced turrets reduce damage taken by turrets. Turrets can cast reflective shields when built. I think this could be really cool. And definitely, you know, so a little bit of timing could be used to put these things down to block incoming shots, but we'll see. In the grand scheme of things, I'm still figuring it out, but I'll let you know. This is Vaygrim signing off. I'll catch you guys later. Make sure you step into Guild Wars 2 and see some of the changes that are going on, some of the improvements that are being added to the game. I definitely cannot wait. The day before my birthday...
More violence, I say. Less violence.
The day before my birthday is when Heart of Thorns launches, and I can't wait to dive into that game. It's going to be fun. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.